Alright, what you see here is a Hampton Bay Carousel ceiling fan. I got this fan from Aden Ceiling Fan Corner. And as you can tell, it's a very unique version of the carousel, as it has blacklight reflective neon paint. Now, for those who don't know, the Hampton Bay Carousel is basically a knockoff of the Beverly Hills Fan Company California Surfer. And if you've never seen those, check out Dance with Newman's videos. He has a few videos from another collector that had sent him footage of them installed in his shop. So definitely check those out for reference. Now the carousel did not have this paint finish like this for that long. It was only for a very brief period. In fact, this is the only one that has surfaced within the fan community. So there's very little information on these early Hampton Bay carousels. Now the later versions are pretty common, like the ones from the late 90s, early 2000s. That's the most common version, but throughout the years in the mid to late 90s, they definitely had a few different variants of them. Another interesting thing about this one is it has the Hampton Bay logo on the switch housing and not on the motor housing. It has the Hampton Bay logos with a sticker on it. So that makes me believe it has to be from at least, earliest I can see this being is from 1995. And the latest I could see it being from is 1997, so it's somewhere around that range. But I think this one is probably the first version of the Hampton Bay Carousel. There was an SMC version that had the SMC nicks in the switch housing and such that I think came out after this version, although I'm not sure if that one was also blacklight reflective. It was either this version here or the SMC one. And I figured I'd also show it with the switch cap because, one, you don't really see Hampton Bay Carousels with the switch cap option. You always really find them with the light unless you find one new in the box. And also, since this one is blacklight reflective, one's another chance that someone's going to see one with just a switch cap, so I figured I might as well show it with this as well, since it actually came with it. So, yeah. Go ahead and start the fan off on the low speed. And it is using a regular wooden pull chain, a black one. One that I colored black with a Sharpie. That's what this fan would have came with originally. That's what the earlier Hampton Bay carousels had before they switched them over to the logo styled ones with the Hampton Bay logo. But yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite fans I've gotten into my collection. I mean, the Hampton Bay Carousel is my biggest childhood fan and such. It's one that really helped me. It's the one that really helped further my interest in fans altogether. I mean, I was already into them quite a bit as a kid, but like when I got the one in my living room back when I was 4 years old in 2001, that's what made me even more interested in other fans and such. Plus, it's just the one that reminds me the most of my childhood. One, because I had one in the living room, still have it to this day, but also it's just something that, like the look of it, is just something that reminds me a lot of my childhood and such. Like going to arcades and such, stores in the malls like Hot Topic or Spencer's from back in the day. I could definitely see them having something like this in there, especially with just a switch cap. It has a very 90s builder look to it, which I like. And with the switch cap, it definitely doesn't look strange seeing it without a light kit. I remember the carousel that I have, it did come with a switch cap. I just don't know what happened to it afterwards. After my dad put it up in the living room at the old apartment. But, I'm guessing they probably just tossed it or something, who knows. But yeah, the spotlights on this fan are not in the best shape. One of them, the blue one, is busted, and the other three are pretty loose. But so spotlights is kind of hit or miss, either they're in good shape or they're not. It also depends on the quality of it at the time. There's some companies that make good ones, and then there's some that made cheaper ones. Also depends how well the lights were treated over the years. Sometimes people don't really treat the spotlights too well, so that can also affect how they last over the years. But yeah, it's just such a really cool fan. I'm glad I got this fan from him. I didn't even know there was a blacklight reflective one until he mentioned it. I remember when I saw his video of it originally, Aden's. I was like, "Ooh, that's a version I'd love to find." So, and I actually ended up getting it. So yeah, let's go ahead and move it up to medium. But yeah, like laser tag places, arcades, places. There's like a ton of places I can see these in. Roller skating places, especially. Yeah, it's definitely moving a good breeze on medium. But yeah, this one, I don't know if I mentioned it before or not, but this one is made by CEI. And the one from my childhood is made by Aircool, I think. Alright, now go ahead and move it up to the high speed. Now this fan is able to have 4 blades mounted to it. I just figured I'm only going to really show it with 5 blades just because I'm not the biggest fan of how these fans look with 4 blades, especially since there's an orange switch housing. I feel like it looks odd to have that portion orange and not have an orange blade on it. I mean, what I could do is show it without the blue blade, but still, it's just, I don't know, I'm just not the biggest fan of how these fans look with 4 blades. But it's definitely moving a pretty good amount of air considering it's a home center fan. It's not quite spinner motor hunter, but it's definitely better than your cheaper end fan and such. I do know that around like this time, like around 1995 and such, that Home Depot did sell stuff from Beverly Hills Fan Company. Now I'm wondering if that, when they kind of stopped selling the California Surfer version, if they just stopped using the the blacklight neon paint like this and such. And there was also the Encon Festival, but that was from the early to mid 90s. Like around the same time as this one, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's definitely cooling down the basement pretty well. It's not hot down here, it's just a little bit warm, I guess. Yeah, definitely, like, especially underneath it, it's a very nice breeze. Right now, to shut off, and you spin down and then I'll show it on reverse. I mean, it's definitely a fan that I consider installing, especially not only because it goes in the dark, but the air movement on it is actually pretty good. It's just the humming on it, I feel, would be something that would bother me. But also, the spotlights definitely need some work, so if I was to install it, I would have to do some work to the spotlights first. But yeah, I'm not sure if this one's more powerful than the other one that I have. It might honestly be more powerful, but since that one's blade arms have been bent a lot over the years, in terms of like the pitch, that kind of makes it hard to determine if it's more powerful than it or not. I wanted to bring that one back for a remake at some point and use some blade arms on it that haven't been adjusted or modified. That from factory, it'll be a better judgment at that point. But it's been a while since I tested that one. It's been a good few years now, so my memory on the moving on that's a little bit fuzzy and such. All right, now to go ahead and start it off on reverse. All right, now for medium. But yeah, like this is either this or the other one that I have is something I would put in the game room. Like I wouldn't mind having like a little profile for a game room, the bright brass one I used to have in the living room and such. But I feel like I'd rather just for air movement, just I feel like it would be a fitting fan for it. But I'd rather have something like this in there, something more unique. All right, now for high, especially if it's like a room that, like just for gaming and such, or like if I was to have like those remake arcade cabinets that they have at like Walmart and such, I thought like this would be more fitting for that type of room and something that's more plain looking. Obviously, I'd have it with the light kit though, but right. So yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.